afternoon. 10 Tampa Bay Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins here, and well, we've got a little bit to talk about. We've got two systems out there, and yes, it has happened. We have Pete Rose in the tropics, Peter and Rose, that is, and also I'm going to touch on the potential for our first cold front of the season, which I know a lot of folks are probably excited about right at this particular point. So let's talk now about the tropics. I'm going to give you an updated number here just to make sure. So we've got Peter out there, it's tropical storm, and we have, let's see, tropical storm Rose as well, which is there. You can see over kind of towards Africa. We've got a system that's off of Africa that's about 30%. That's down here in the lower right-hand corner. That's 80% chance of development, excuse me. And then we've got a 30% chance of development of what's actually left over of Odette. Right, so not a huge deal. It's going to, most of these, as a matter of fact, look to stay out to sea. We'll probably have to watch what's Invest 98L, which is this one down here in the lower right-hand corner. I mean, look where we are though now. If you look at the names, when was it? 17, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14, 17 named storms. We only got 4 left on the list, and then we go into the supplemental list. Remember, they got rid of the Greek alphabet, and we have just a supplemental list. So yeah, only 4 storms away from that. Season doesn't end for what, 2 months and a week, something like that. So well, we'll see what happens. All right, let's talk Tropical Storm Peter. Here's the latest track on it. You can see it has winds right now of 50 miles per hour. It's actually going to have a little bit of dry air and some shear on this thing, so not looking too promising. You can see it's going to get turned up and pushed towards Bermuda, so they will have to keep an eye on it. But look at those winds. They're just not all that impressive, and most of that will stay north of the island. So good news there. I do think they get a little bit of swell on the east coast. That'll be good news for the surfers, but I just don't think it's much of a worry more than that. Just have to watch for probably more rain than anything else for Bermuda if it can get that moisture wrapped around in their direction. Forecast miles, you can see, pretty much in agreement with that. This is Tropical Storm Rose. Rose at 40 mile per hour winds right now. Rose is up here, okay? This is Rose. This is Invest 98L, and that one's going to come in underneath this. Rose is moving. You can see where Rose has been moving from, right in there. And it looks like it's going to continue to move to the north and the northwest. So here's the latest track from the Hurricane Center. It does have quite a bit of shear and dry air coming in, and so it's just not forecast to do much. I mean, 40 mile per hour winds, and then kind of drop below that by the time we get towards Wednesday night and Thursday morning, and then curve back out to sea. So good news there as well too. Again, this is 98. Now 98 doesn't seem to have a good surface low at this particular point, or at least rotation. But that's a big envelope of moisture you see there, and so this one has a pretty decent chance, I think, of developing. Looks really good out there on the satellite this afternoon. We are running forecast models on it. Tropical Wave Invest 98L. It looks like now it's going to perhaps curve, but some of the modeling kind of brings it north and then gets picked up by a cold front and turns it back out. So the East Coast will have to keep an eye on this, including us here in Florida. It doesn't look like it's going to make it all the way, and that kind of will bring me on to the cold fronts headed our way, because it's that time of year where if those fronts make it all the way to the southeast coast, all the way here and off the coast, it takes storms that are coming towards them and picks them up and throws them out ahead of it. And that is what, at least the GFS, even a little bit of the Europeans try and suggest is going on. So let's talk about our weather. Fall officially begins on Wednesday. That's the autumnal equinox. If you're in the Tampa area, let me show you that right now, because we do have some rain out there. You can see the rain along the coast here is finally starting to thin out a little bit. And where we've seen sunshine for inland locations, we're now getting storms developing. These will all work their way eastward as we go through the afternoon hours. Still quite a bit of cloudiness, and I expect that trend to continue throughout the day. So not a whole lot of sunshine out there, and still a bunch of moisture left over all across the northeastern Gulf of Mexico. There's still plenty to our north as well too, but there is some drier air, and that's coming in for the central U.S. and eventually will march its way eastward over the next couple of days. You're going to see a lot of friends and family up north talking about the cold front. So let's just show you the planner real fast with the rain. You can see a couple showers left over by 5 o'clock here along the coast. Otherwise, the rain that we've seen from the daytime heating inland will continue to push its way inland. Look at Highlands County by this afternoon and evening hours. Tomorrow we will see isolated shower in the morning. I think most of it stays just offshore. And then during the afternoon hours, we'll start a few here along the coast, and then they will push inland as we get about 5, 6, 7 o'clock. It's about 6:30 in the evening hours. So let's talk cold front. Now, what I'm showing you here, atmospheric moisture, or what we call precipitable water, and you can see just a ton of moisture over us. And so that means anytime you get any kind of heating from the sunshine, you've got all this moisture in here to make showers and storms, and that's kind of what's happening inland. Plus, we had just moisture sitting out here in the form of clouds and rain, and that moved on shore today. This is dry air. That's behind this cold front. So watch what happens. We're going to run this through Tuesday, Wednesday, and stop it out here on Thursday. Look, this is just showing you the overall moisture in the atmosphere really decreasing. For us, we end up with more of these greens, not necessarily the darker greens. This green here is pretty normal for us in the summertime. That's why we get afternoon showers and thunderstorms bubbling up every day, right? The front stalls just to our north. Look where Citrus County is, and look where the dry air is, Levy County. So this isn't exact, and this is not dew points. This is the amount of moisture. This isn't what you feel when you step outside. This is just making storms. And what I want to show you is going all the way out through Thursday, we still have a lot of moisture over top of us, right? And these will help spark some showers and storms along the front. Then, as we get into Friday, it's trying to nudge some drier air in here. Still think we've got plenty of moisture for showers and storms Friday, especially south of I-4. But then look at Saturday and Sunday. The dry air starts to work in here. That should cut our rain chances back, especially on Sunday. Sunday looks drier than Saturday, but even then, I think Saturday is actually looking pretty decent. And then let's go into Monday of next week. You see this dry air spills down. So what this means is that rain chances will be decreasing. Those afternoon showers and storms. October 10th technically is the end of the rainy season for the Tampa area. It's not a set date, of course, or an official date. Well, it is official, right? It's official.
Now it is.
Yeah, now it is. They just kind of went back, crunched the numbers. What they use those numbers for, May 25th through October 10th for the Tampa area, for our rainy season, one of the things is hot temperatures, which we usually have, higher dew points, and then a lot of moisture in the atmosphere. And this is some of that drier air. Now look, this is not going to stick around forever. We'll get some moisture back probably towards the end of next week, but this will cut down on our rain chances. So now let's talk the humidity and what it feels like out there. So look at this. Dew points in the 60s, Sunday, Monday, probably going a little bit lower as we get into Sunday and Monday, a little bit closer than these numbers. They're in the low to mid 70s right now. You still feel the humidity when the dew points are in the 60s, but it is going to feel a little bit more comfortable Sunday afternoon, and especially Monday morning. Waking up Monday morning is going to be really nice. So let's show you that. Look at all the drier air that moves in. Now this is the dew point. This is kind of it's related to the humidity. So a lower dew point, lower humidity. And you can see all the really nice dry air up north, dew points in the 40s. That's going to feel good for them. Look at Florida, though, right? It just doesn't get here by Thursday. Let's go out to Sunday. Finally, look at Jacksonville. Dew points in the 50s. We'll be in the 60s. That is not huge, but it's noticeable. It's especially noticeable when you get to the end of September. It's just been hot and humid, and it's been raining like it has been, right? It will be noticeable. That's by Sunday. And then look at this going let me back up a little bit here. Going into Tuesday and Wednesday, still looking at dew points in the 70s. But then you notice it, or 60, excuse me. But then you notice it coming back to near 70 by Thursday of next week. And that's pretty typical. We don't get one big cold front that just shuts it all off, right? Not at least initially. You're going to get one. It'll cool us off a little bit. It'll dry us out, cut the rain chances back. And then that moisture will drift back to the north is what this model's trying to show us here. And we'll end up getting a little bit drier, more moisture, so some rain chances. Look, honestly, October 10th is really a good date because we're starting to flirt with some of that dry air now. But we really don't get much of it until we get into October anyways. And by the way, we're getting pretty close to October at that particular point. One other note before I let you go, guys. The harvest moon is tonight, the full moon. Harvest moon is the one closest to the equinox, autumnal equinox, which is at 3:20 p.m. on Wednesday. That marks the first day of fall, or first time that fall starts. Tonight, sunset is at 7:29, moonrise is at 7:41. That's pretty good timing. It's just that we're going to have quite a few clouds around. So hopefully we can get the rain that's out there now to really thin out, get those clouds to thin out. But as it looks now, we still have quite a few clouds. So if you do see something and you get some cool pictures, I'd love for you to share it on my social media, on my Facebook page. I think I got some of that on here. Obviously, you got my Facebook page here, but also Bobby WTSP. That is my Twitter handle. And Bobby D Weather is what I am on Instagram as well too. So try to see if I can pull these up for you. And I don't see them. Here we go. Yeah. So hit me up there, guys. Don't forget to follow and like all that. Hope you are having a great Monday as we slide back into work. Most of this week, a little unsettled as far as rain goes. Pretty typical though for this time of the year. But hang in there, especially by Thursday. We'll see some of that drier air just to our north, and we'll get, I think, a little bit by the weekend. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your Monday afternoon.